Welcome back to another episode of the Average Pastor Podcast. Mark here with my friends Jeff and Jake, and we're back from our break, and so are the construction workers over at the house next door. And we're back here on the fire porch, having a good time. We're having a good time. Conversations. What was it? It was a podcast with pastors and pastries. Where are the pastries at? We talked about that as a...
Man, that was on the very first episode, right?
Yeah.
Was that really?
Yeah.
What a throwback.
Yeah, it was a throwback. I was thinking about this
I'm still thinking
podcast.
About pastries.
Jake,
Dude, we went
getting hungry.
We found one of the Mennonite bakeries down in Kelowna. We went over to one of the nurseries to get some stuff for the yard or whatever. And then I'm like, there's that little bakery. Dude, I don't know what they do to their pastries, but it is like
so
magic. It's
so good.
So good.
Golden Delights.
Golden Delights,
Yeah.
baby.
Oh,
So
man.
good. Hey, maybe we could get them to sponsor us.
Yes.
We get sponsors. Hey,
Yeah. This
Golden-
is
hey,
brought
could
to you
we-
by Golden Delights Bakery in Kelowna.
They don't even have electricity in Golden Delights, but they're going to sponsor our
Oh, they don't know about this. Then this episode is brought to you by. I'd like to send a shout out
just,
to the Mennonite
what other
bakers.
free commercials
So
would you
good.
get? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Are there like we're just giving commercials right now? We're not.
Wow.
We're not
We're not
going to make any money. It'd be nice.
like a
Yeah.
product you've been enjoying.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
something you've been enjoying that you'd like, hey, I give an advertisement for this. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I don't know if you think it.
Jake, what kind of hatchet are you using, or what kind of axe are you using, or what are you doing to get all your wood
Well, yeah.
cut down to size?
Oh, you got your little hobbit house now.
Yeah.
With your new house.
I mean, I would advertise the activity of chopping wood.
Yeah.
It's just a
Yeah.
great little
Take your
stress
aggression out.
reliever. Get
Yeah.
out there. You feel a little.
so you've
throwback.
really
manly.
been chopping wood.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Really? Wow.
And it's not
like,
like
I picture like a Rocky movie. Wasn't that part of his, in the Russian
it's
one
not
where he's
quite
like
like
chopping
that.
wood?
Not quite like that.
Jake
I
out
li-
there. I hear the.
I leave
Jake's
my
out
shirt
there.
on and there's different music playing. It's a little bit more laid back chopping wood.
I picture
I would
Sylvester
promote-
Stallone when I see
Yeah,
you.
I promote the activity of chopping wood. I'd give a commercial for that.
Yeah.
Even if you don't have a fireplace, you should chop wood.
Oh man,
Nice.
chopping wood.
But product wise, the air fryer.
Wow.
It's like,
You into the air fryer right now?
yeah,
What are you frying in your air fryer?
chicken wings. It just goes faster and
Yeah.
you can reheat stuff better. That's
good.
just like an oven on your
So
countertop that
chop-
goes faster. Better than a microwave.
These
I
are
like
some
it.
amazing sponsorships. I
This
love
is
it.
good.
The activity of chopping wood and air fryers.
Yeah.
Hey,
The Average Pastor
if
Podcast.
you could add two things in your life right now, chop some wood and fry some chicken wings in an air fryer.
Oh man, that alone is worth the price of admission.
Yep.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah.
That was great.
That's a
See you
pretty-
next time.
That's a pretty cheap price.
So this podcast, do you guys remember the show Candid Camera
Yeah.
back in was it like the 80s? You're on Candid Camera.
Yeah,
They
even
get film
70s,
people
I don't know,
doing
long time,
70s,
yeah.
80s, all the time. It's like
yeah,
you're
you feel
doing
pumped.
these, trying to get people to do
Is it bad that
stuff, and it's like you're on Candid Camera. Go ahead.
No, I've had so many people come up and be like, "Oh, I really enjoy your podcast." Is it bad that my first initial thought is always like, "You do"?
Well,
exactly.
This podcast, I think, is like Candid Camera. I think like at the end of every podcast, they're like, "We're done." It's like, "Oh wait,
Did we do something?
we were filmed on that."
Hey, Mark, look right over there. There's the camera.
Whoa! I'm on Candid Camera.
It's been recording this whole
You're like,
time.
yeah. And how they would do it, like, look right over there.
I know.
Right
There
over
it
there.
is.
There's like
Yeah, I know it's the big reveal.
the big
Yeah.
reveal.
And I thought about how
And then you're
This-
like, "Oh man, what did I say?"
Yeah.
right. This podcast is like Candid Camera. It feels like a surprise every
Oh, that's
time
funny.
that we're not just that we do have microphones and stuff. But isn't that what we all want? There was something about that show, and I think now the reality TV, there's this desire. Candid is truthful, frank, like just real. This is real. This is a real thing. You didn't know it was being filmed, like people in their natural habitat. And isn't that what people want? And I think this podcast is a close approximation of that. It's not like come on, like we're filtered a little bit, you know. It's not super candid, but it is kind of candid camera.
Candid-ish. Do you have any promos of?
Oh, we're back to promos.
Oh, promos.
I just felt like I totally robbed that segment. I'm like, how selfish of me. When you guys,
what are we going to offer?
You guys have products that have just you're itching to get out.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I've had a renewed love for my pellet smoker. I'm really into that because here's the thing about it is, even like last night, it was just the two of us and we had burgers, but on the smoker, you can just pipe it up really high. You can do burgers on there, so you get that smoky flavor as well as, so it doesn't have to be some brisket or something, it takes a long smoke. You can do other just more daily kind of meals and stuff. And so I'm a big fan, and it's just kind of a thing that you do in the summer, like in the winter, maybe at Christmas or something, I'll figure out a way to do something, but pretty much it's seasonal. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's really hard for it to keep its temperature up to do a good smoke in the middle of winter. So it's kind of fun, to have something you can do and then see it again.
You can get an insulated cover for them.
Really?
Yeah. To hold their temperature better.
Dude, you're opening a whole new world to me right now.
It's a new product. Just throw it out
another
there.
product.
Yeah, another
Jake
advertisement.
Just keeps rolling.
My advertisement would be to find an old friend and go back to something old that you've enjoyed that you haven't enjoyed for a while. So mine is Lord of the Rings. I went back. I just finished Two Towers. I'm in, listening to Andy Serkis's version of it.
Totally.
And so I feel like I'm hanging out with my Hobbit friends again,
that's awesome.
and I'm back on little mission with them. So that was fun. So an advertisement for Lord of the Rings, or just find an old friend. Like I forgot about Dick Lucas, one of the old preachers from Bishopsgate or whatever over in England. And so I listened to one of his sermons the other day, and that was fun to rediscover an old friend. So there's my.
You mentioned Lord of the Rings. Rudy and I were watching. There's a documentary on Prime with Merry and Pippin. I don't know who the real actors are, their names, but the guys that played Merry and Pippin are real good friends in life, and they're doing this show where they go around and eat different food and talk about. So we're like, let's watch this, and it was all right. But,
it wasn't great.
I mean, it was just okay. But Rudy and I, we were kind of like, we could do better.
Dude.
We were saying we should do Rudy and Jake eat Cedar Rapids and just go around.
Can we do that?
And
wait, can we literally?
Cedar Rapids.
Could we do a podcast where it is Jake and Rudy?
we just take
Cedar
our
Rapids.
phones, we just record in the restaurant and give our opinions.
You have to do that.
I think she was energized, and I'm like, I don't know, but it would be fun.
As one of the servers becomes somebody from your church, and you're throwing down on
Maybe we should.
No, dude, I love that. And what a cool memory with your daughter. Are you kidding me?
That'd be great.
That would be such a cool thing.
What's James is over here laughing uncontrollably.
Up because
would you watch that, James?
No, just the way. Yes, I would watch it. No, I wouldn't watch it. Yes.
What's going on?
Like
over here?
your unpaid promotion. You're just like, mine would be find an old friend.
What's the price tag on that?
But then you got into Lord of the Rings, and I'm like, okay, the average pastor bingo players are just on a roll. Like, okay, we got Dick Lucas. Like,
dude, this is the random, just like what's on your mind? Who knows? Hey, James, by the way.
The listeners are probably like, those dudes need some new friends. All we hear about are the old friends. Do you guys ever read anything new?
This episode is brought to you by just find an old friend. Chop some wood.
Sorry. I totally interrupted you. You were probably in the middle of a great
I was
thought.
thinking that this episode will come out at the end of September, and everyone, we still don't know. We still don't know the score of the Iowa State game. Do you have another prediction? Do you want to come out with another?
Yeah, just like everybody's ready to give it to me for whatever my prediction was. But
so do another one.
Peek behind the curtain. Yeah, we record two at a time, so we still don't know. What do you mean? For the same game?
Yeah, for the same game.
You didn't actually believe what you said the first
double down.
Make another prediction. Okay, your first one was Iowa 20-17.
Yeah.
Now, what's your second? Well, just come on. Just come up with another one.
The Panthers actually win.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, they're not playing. Just kidding.
What's my second, like my backup prediction?
Yes,
like,
backup.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
3-2, Iowa State. Iowa defense.
I could totally see. I mean, Iowa State looked really good.
So
the last game, so I could see them. Yeah, so my backup is Iowa State wins 31-21.
Okay, 31-21 is your backup.
But hey, we know I was right the first time.
Yeah. All right. So moving on from that, let's see what else is going on. I did have kind of some different things that someone, came up in conversations this past week that I was wanting to work through with you guys.
And plus, we did get a couple pretty good questions.
I was thinking that one of those was kind of holiday related, almost like Halloween. Maybe the episode that we get to right before Halloween.
That's a good idea.
We could bring that one up.
We should just do a whole Halloween episode.
In costumes.
Which would actually go against the question that was given about should we.
You guys are in costume saying like, yeah, I don't think we should celebrate.
We look over, Jake's a vampire.
I actually have a strong conviction that we shouldn't be celebrating Halloween.
I was just thinking of candy.
Or we could do wasn't that Legally Blonde where she shows up and it's like not a Halloween party? She's like dressed up as, we could have, trick one of us. One of us shows up in a costume. Only Jake shows up in a costume. Just
that would be awesome.
We got a lot of, just stay tuned, see what happens on that episode. All right. Okay. So here's some topics. I am in need of some pastoral wisdom. So I'm preaching at the Salt Minneapolis retreat up at Redemption Church, and that'll be coming up next weekend by the time this is recorded. So what's your retreat speaking advice? You know what I mean? Do you have any advice? As I get 3 talks. I'm thinking about those talks. I'm pretty excited about. I was thinking my 3 talks are going to be grace, holiness, faithfulness as kind of the 3 topics to work on. It's kind of very average pastor kind of stuff, but just in general, like retreat. Do you guys like speaking on retreats? Is that?
I do. I think that challenge. I mean, once you get there and you get in the rhythm, it's great. I always think it's hard to speak to a completely brand new audience just because there's no rapport. You don't have kind of the story of what's going on in that group. Then once you get there and start having conversations and there's a rapport even built in while you're speaking up front, I kind of warm up to it. But leading up to it, it's always a little tough. The first
one is always hard.
Yeah.
The Friday night session, you're just like, getting to know each other. And do you have any?
I feel the same way. Like talking to a group of people, it's such a privilege, but when you don't have the rapport, it's hard. I always feel like, it's a retreat. Like in between sessions, I'm just gonna be available and connect with students. And usually, I just walk around and feel like the awkward old guy.
Right.
Everybody's got their friends, and I'll just go back and sit over there or something. But I enjoy it.
Are you speaking on any retreat? Seems like you've been on the circuit a lot.
I didn't do any this year.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm doing at the Salt Network National
Conference.
I'm doing a breakout on dating. Faithfulness in dating.
Jeff on date. Have you ever done a dating talk?
Well,
in
here's
all
what's
your
funny.
years?
I was thinking about that. Because obviously working with college students forever, you would think that would be, I mean, like, obviously you talk about dating, but have I ever just given specifically a focused talk on dating? And so at first when Rudy got a hold of me, I was like, of all the topics you want to throw out my direction. So it took me a couple days, but then I don't know. I had this moment where I was like, but actually, I wonder if now, as the more, not just father, but grandfather figure.
How'd they date back then, Jeff?
Well, apparently really fast, because I was 19 when I asked Teresa to marry me, so it didn't take long.
Have you come up with some things like you got?
I've had a lot of thoughts about it. Maybe it's not until January, so I've got.
What are some? Okay, we're on the dating topic. Didn't see this coming.
No.
What is your?
Especially from me.
Yeah. So what is your dating advice? Like what's something you're definitely going to say in that sermon, in that breakout session, Jake? What's the thing you're speaking to a crowd of college students? What's something you want?
I would speak against evangelistic dating.
Mm-hmm.
Explain that.
He's not a Christian, but he's really nice, and
or
we're pursuing this relationship, and what if he'll come around?
Would you say the same thing if it's like, oh, he goes to church and he'd say he's a Christian and he just needs, like, would you advise against that, like Christian-ish dating evangelism? I don't know, whatever that is.
And I know a lot of people have. Their story is my girlfriend led me to Christ, or my boyfriend. Like,
I led Teresa to Christ.
Yeah, so it's not that God hasn't done wonderful things to you. I just think if the purpose of dating is to find a spouse, then don't, something that I would think is off the table for a spouse, don't walk down that.
So could another principle there be, don't date someone that you hope is going to change? Like, could that be said too? Like, this is old Ed Noble dating talk, but this is probably the best dating advice I've heard is like, don't get on Interstate 80 going east if you don't want to get to Chicago. Like, clearly you're on a path, and this is where you're going.
Right. Who
this person is right now, that's putting that little piece of metal on your finger is not going to change a thing about who this person is.
Right.
Could that be a principle there of, and the further you get toward Chicago, the harder it is to turn around. Like, you're headed this way. Is that kind of in that ballpark of advice of hey, what's the desk?
What's your end goal, and are you moving towards that, or are you moving away from it?
Because it seems like it inverts things. In other words, like, what I really want is a girlfriend. Now, if they're a Christian, that'd be great. So I found the girlfriend. Now let's hope that Jesus follows up in that, as opposed to, no, I want to spend the rest of my life following Christ.
Sure.
So what I want is to find somebody who also has that, you know what I mean? Like, it inverts.
Do you think young people want a boyfriend or a girlfriend and see what happens, rather than I want a husband or a wife, and I'm going to look for what I want in a husband and a wife, and that will filter? Because if it's just like a boyfriend or girlfriend, we can tend to put too much stock. Not that there shouldn't be any stock, but maybe too much stock in physical appearance or chemistry or sexual attraction, where it's like, hey, everybody gets old, everybody's looks change. Like, do they have other traits that's like, this is going to be, a spouse for my life?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Totally. I think that's a good point. I would definitely talk about, purity. Like, that. 100%. That's the 100%, the quickest way to destroy your relationship. If you want to destroy a person, your relationship with God, a person, and the church, just like, get physical. Let your lust run wild. If it feels good, do it. And that's the quickest way to.
Were either of you guys ever? Did you ever buy into the "I kiss dating goodbye" thing? Like you only go into courtship, like the more shallow, I guess, or whatever, or random, I guess. Shallow's too strong, but the quick dating culture instead be intentional, and you're only going into court. You know what I'm saying?
I think that I don't know how people date today, but there is where, okay, we're going to be an item, and there's some pressure on that, and then it doesn't last, and then we're going to be an item with the next person. There's and that doesn't last, and you almost train when you're this item, there's probably greater pressure for physical activity in your relationship. I think there can be some safety in dating frequently, dating a lot of people, dating often, but it's innocent of like you
better not, if you're gonna date, if you're gonna go that route of just go on a date, ask them out. You better not introduce the physical stuff into it,
right?
Because if you're doing that and going around, whatever, just like I'm dating them, therefore we can make out.
You're right. And what do you mean by dating? Because a date, by definition, is like we had a date on the calendar. We went and did something. So if somebody dates a lot of people, I think there's maybe less temptation for. It's like, I went out to dinner with her. I went out to. There was innocent.
They're just getting to know this person.
Getting to know this person. But as soon as like, no, we're now dating, and it's just exclusive.
We got a lot of dates on the calendar, but we have no date end date. It's like
so there could be some safety in
the
dating
courtship
often.
thing. I mean, I remember when that big fad was going out. It seemed very Christian-like. To just. Speak of courtship.
Well, the guy who wrote the book on that is not
has abandoned the faith.
Yeah. It can be legalistic and weird.
Yeah, and the pressure goes on marriage quick. So all of a sudden you start thinking this person might be the one you'd make a covenant with for life. The next thing you know, you're talking about marriage and all that, and it just seems like it puts that on the fast
one of the
track
critiques of like Saul, is like, man, people get married too quick.
So quick.
Do you agree with that?
I mean, here I am again. I got engaged at 19 and married at 20. So who am I to throw rocks? Right. But I'm also saying I think it's okay that people get married fairly young and that we buck that cultural trend, because on the other side, I just read this Wall Street Journal article about not only are people getting married much later, but even the level of sexual activity within marriage is going down. Like whatever's going on culturally is not working. Something is really broken in
the idea of the stereotype, like the idea of, hey, get on birth control through your 20s, get married at 30, and all of a sudden you have a hard time. You're 100%. Getting pregnant, and I mean, there's some real problems with that model.
Yes,
marriage is a good thing, and I think some of the cultural idols underneath that problem is the thinking of, before I get married and have a family, I need to establish my career. So we put career as the ambition rather than family.
Right.
So I got to do career first, and we push off family. And once I'm establishing my career, that's the time to get married. That's the time to have kids, rather than seeing the great ambition of your life is to get married and have a family, raise children. And career exists to just support that. So I think that's out of bounds or out of balance, which is. So we have a lot of listeners, Jeff. Let's just say one of the listeners doesn't quite know what you mean by courtship.
Oh, yeah.
Let's define.
Yeah.
I mean, somebody out there. What do you like? What is?
Well, I mean, as defined, at least in that movement or by the book and stuff that started it, it's that you only begin to what we would call date. I put in air quotes date. Is you find somebody that your intention is to marry. In other words, you're not doing what you said earlier. Hey, we're just having a date to have dinner. We're having a date to, go to this event or that. It's no. I only begin to one-on-one date with somebody that I plan to marry.
Okay, so what about the combination of those two? If somebody said, like, I'll go out on dates with lots of girls or lots of guys to get to know them, but I'm not. But once I like exclusively, that seems to me like, oh, that's more courtship.
Yeah.
But it feels like we practice courtship that fails,
right?
Courtship that fails, rather than, yeah, you want to go get coffee with that person? Great, go. But,
and lower the expectations.
Yeah.
Constantly. Yeah. I agree.
Okay, so maybe there's room for both, depending how it's defined.
And we've kind of messed it up because now you got courtship, then you got engagement, and then there's marriage. So, when is a breakup like allowed? So, can you break up a courtship? Do you like New Testament wise? I mean, Mary Joseph.
Yeah.
I mean, they were not
engaged.
married; they were engaged, but he would have had to write a letter of divorce in order to stop that process. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we've kind of introduced some different levels of defining the relationship that make it.
So someone asked me recently about, I don't even remember who it was, but they're like, what do you think about just like a quicker wedding that's like smaller with family? It's not, maybe later you do the
Dude, I will
reception.
get on that bandwagon.
You would? So you're pro?
Would. My grandpa came back from World War II. He was engaged when he went to war and then got a Dear John letter while he was at war. Came back, met my grandma, dated for 2 weeks, and he said, marry me or I'm moving on. And they got married and had a great life. But I think there
Is
can
that
be
the
this
advice you've given to your children?
Well, I think that there can be this overemphasis on compatibility, and as soon as you have conflicts in marriage, it's like, maybe we're not compatible. Rather than being like, no, you're two human beings that have conflict, and a lot of marriage is devotion.
Work through it.
Like we're committed to one another. You love the Lord, I love the Lord. Let's do this thing.
Jake, you should go into counseling, dude. Like, wait, we're not compatible, and they're not meeting my emotional needs. And Jake, over like, well, you're a human. That's your. I love just your. I don't think.
But do you think people put too much emphasis on? Like there is a part of duty.
It's over. We've way overcomplicated this.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the.
Yes.
It's not that complicated, and this whole like. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of it's
so here's the thing, back on the wedding ceremony part is, look, Jesus' first miracle was at a wedding. They obviously made much of celebrating marriage and you know, he made wine for those things. So I'm not opposed to having appropriate, like, celebrate. It's a covenant. It's a huge, but I would say in this culture right now, often the engagement is super long because we got to find the right venue and we've got to find all the right dress. And it's tipped over in the other direction where it's not just celebrating the covenant. It's fashion show. It's putting on the Ritz.
Yeah.
And I do think in many ways that can overshadow the actual meat. The central part of covenant kind of gets overshadowed in those moments by the pageantry of it.
Do you want to have a down payment on a house or a great wedding?
And even if let's just say you are people of means and could afford it, should you?
Sure.
So even if you don't have to trade a house for, I'm just saying, like,
that's
but you could, you know what I mean?
That's our Instagram culture where you're capturing a moment where you put so much into the
optics,
wedding and not much into the marriage.
Yeah.
But also, I think that you wouldn't want someone feeling bad about having a beautiful and great wedding with great food, great celebration.
That's where I go back
to,
to the Gospel of John. Like I do think it's appropriate. You know,
had
Jesus blessed a big, huge party of a wedding. So I don't hear me say that, you know, because like your grandparents, my parents got married in the parsonage before he went off to World War II. I'm not saying we got to get back to the old days where you just don't have any. But yeah, I do.
You're saying
the balance.
Don't feel the pressure to have that
because like James, your wedding with Audrey, our daughter Audrey, was in our backyard. We rented a fairly simple place to do, but we did it up. There was festivities.
It was
there was
beautiful.
You know what I mean? It was a blast and all that. So I want to make much of the thing, but those times that you do feel like the Instagram wedding pressure is on.
Do you feel like there's a drift from like in our culture? It's really seen as the wedding is is for the bride. And we even say things like it's her day and she's the center. And where instead of the celebration of the union, it really becomes, what, like the thing she's lived for and wants and so much. And even
she used to dress up her Barbie dolls just like she wants for this.
Yeah, where you're kind of, so this would be so counterculture. The image we get in the Gospels is that we're the bride and Christ is the bridegroom, and we're waiting for the return of the groom. So I think we should start having the bride wait down front and the groom come in. And everybody stand for the groom.
Yeah,
He's finally here.
Should be the groom's day.
I mean, if you want to do the gospel right, let's start getting weddings right.
Wow.
Let's have some brats.
Yeah, some brats.
Right.
Get that. What's your little? Get your air fryer going.
Yeah, it's a tailgate.
It's a
a tailgate. But the bride, she represents the church. She's waiting for the bride. Let's put her down front. Just have her
Jake,
stand
this
there.
is hey, while we're going where angels fear to tread.
Oh man,
Jake trying to turn this whole upside down
tradition. I'm just saying,
I was
nobody else is for that.
We're moving.
Nobody. Like anybody.
While we're going into landmine territory, Jake has fully jumped onto the landmine. Is a you're on candid camera.
Oh wait, we're recording this.
Is
Never mind.
This I was talking to someone there about my
One of your
age
kids?
and no, this is a friend that's about my age, and I was asking her, "Hey, got any topics for the podcast?" And she said, "Oh yeah, talk about the idolization of beauty as an idol." She's like, "There's so much pressure on women to, the products, spend this on like anti-aging stuff and getting work done and all the things to try to." The obsession with youth and staying young. And she's like, talk about that. I'm like, what could possibly go wrong? Like three guys.
Three
talking about how women should think about
three men who are the definition of beauty.
Who clearly
We actually just lost a sponsor. Golden Delights just called and they're out. They dropped us.
Oh man. What? We don't want to step on that landmine, do we?
It's tough because Jeff, you were talking about this one time. Just God creates beauty. Beauty is a good thing, but what idolatry does is it takes good things and it makes them ultimate things. And
because even the imagery of the bride and the bridegroom. The bride is made beautiful and holy for the groom. You know what I mean? So there is that sense of like preparedness, and we want to celebrate femininity, and you know what I mean? Like there, of course, I don't want to just pretend like that isn't an appropriate thing for a woman to seek as beauty or whatever, you know? But the culture though, that we have where it takes, like chemical and pharmaceutical and surgical work to make that happen. You know what I mean? Like it's gone so far that pressure to reverse aging, and with men too, though, dude. I mean, the reverse aging, that piece of this whole thing is as much of a male.
Let's talk about it in the context of males, because there are a lot of men, especially the more celebrity type. You get the pressure. The more you see your face, like getting work done, getting wrinkles taken out, whatever you're doing. This would be a hot take, or maybe not. Maybe it's just a normal average pastor take. Is like,
but it's all we got either.
It's a lukewarm take.
Is basically is there anyone that you respect, like a male figure that's like, yeah, they got work done and I totally respect them? Like, is there because I think I respect people who have aged well.
Mhm.
And I respect, like the Proverbs talks about a gray, like a gray head is it's a crown. It's like,
Well, I mean,
see the people that
No, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, that was awkward.
I think it's easy to say that for men. The same is true scripturally for women, where in Proverbs 31, where she laughs at the time to come. Like, I'm not afraid of getting old. And I think that should apply to both Christian men and women.
Yeah.
So that's a principle and maybe that would be, if there ever was a podcast, we got our wives on there, we could talk about that, or have some.
Let's say that our wives have to watch one podcast before they can be guests.
Yeah, listen, watch, even a segment, anything. No, I can't. How many conversations I've been in with my wife, and somebody will be like, "Oh man, I listened to that," and Teresa's like, "I never have." Nope. And I'm like, "Wow, well, glad you're proud of that." I don't know if that's somehow an award for you. That
I've resisted.
I would have to say, Mark, this is. Maybe I'll regret saying this, but I'd have to say, I don't think I do respect older men. If it's an anti-aging thing, if it's not because they had surgery, obviously, you know what I mean? Where I'm saying it, where they had to get reconstructive surgery, because of a thing. That's different, obviously. I'm just saying, like, if somebody actually, in order to make themselves look younger, in order to fight off aging, if they got work done, I think I do lose respect.
Really?
Now,
But
I think what's offensive and appropriate to say is I would say the same thing about women. And there can be an idea of pressure for women, because it's like, well, men enjoy the look of women, but for a man to say, like, no, when you take beauty to an idolatry level, you lose respect.
One of my favorite songs that Marcy has written is Old Fashioned, keeping it old fashioned, and talking about, or just singing a song about her mom. And like, you've said this during the sacred manhood, or what, womanhood too, where it's like, talking to women, like, find a woman with wrinkles and gray hair and like talk to her about wisdom and godliness. And I mean, that's First Peter 3 about Sarah and how she made herself beautiful. Like, it's hard to imagine that there is if you were speaking to men or women on this, what is the, like, principle you would say to hold to? Because there is a little pushback on, there are people that we respect, that anti-aging is like, well, did they get their teeth done? They had straight teeth at the end. Maybe they lost teeth and they,
Totally.
Like,
well, did you lose teeth and you got teeth replaced, or you just, there's still a, like, why?
Wait, why get teeth replaced?
No, are you saying, like, I lost some teeth, so I got...
Was it purely cosmetic, or was it because I lost teeth and I can't
you're saying because I want to be able to chew my food.
Yes.
Right, they have a function.
Yeah, we don't want to diss somebody that has replaced a
if
tooth.
You don't have teeth, don't feel guilty. Get some teeth.
Get some work done, man. Get some work done.
Get some work done.
Some teeth.
But yeah, if it's purely cosmetic, am I alone on that? I feel like I would lose. I feel like I'd lose respect
when someone, if you knew,
if it's purely cosmetic.
Yeah, and if I was coming to you and I'm like, Jeff, dude, I don't like these wrinkles.
Right.
I don't like how I look on this podcast.
Right.
And I want to get some work done.
Right.
You would say what?
Yeah, I'd lose respect. Yeah.
Or you'd
and
say,
I mean,
don't
you
do
guys,
it.
here's for sure. I mean, dude, I get our staff picture, whatever it is. And I'm like, dang, I see that face in the mirror all the time. Why is it all of a sudden older on that photo? So of course we all have those moments where you have this realization, oh, I'm aging at a faster clip than I even realized I was.
Yeah.
But that then equals sign, I better do something about that, And it's different if it's a health thing. Like I just went to my annual physical or whatever, and I need to change some habits because of, when you age, things like cholesterol, things like sugar levels, whatever increase. And you're like, oh, I at least want to live into the age that I am with as much vigor and health as I can. Does that make sense? That's different than cosmetic, I feel like. That's
so because the same critique that if it was like, no, you don't need to go get Botox or whatever. if I were saying, guys, I just feel like I just get out of breath playing with my kid, you would say, Jake, you should
do
exercise.
something about that.
Yeah. So but that's not an appearance thing as much as a health thing.
Yeah, taking care of your body and I think that you don't want like, especially for women, like femininity and like wanting to look nice. There's nothing wrong with like so it could be it's just like a legalism thing where, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like
so what do you how do you answer the slippery slope type of thing where it's are you saying makeup's wrong then? Are you so sometimes it's you take a common normal thing to justify an extreme thing.
Right.
So it's like, well, if you're okay with makeup, why aren't you okay with Botox? If you're okay with makeup, why aren't you okay with a boob job? Like you just it's kind of the same thing. And I'm like, it's not the same thing. No. But that seems to be a connected argument. How would you respond?
No, because maybe it is subjective, but I'm telling you, I love that Teresa has a look, a fashion eye, or what, you know what I mean? Like I'm proud of her when she, whether it's walk through the foyer or when she's doing her job or whatever that she, but I never feel like she's just preoccupied with it. She's not afraid to also walk out of the house.
Well, what was that
with
process
a cap on or whatever?
What was that process for her about, within the last couple of years?
Oh, the gray hair and stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Cause she prematurely grayed. She was like 30, I think, and was like full gray, it's a family trait. And so she colored her hair for a lot of years because she wasn't ready to, have that premature grayness. And nor did I actually have a problem with that. You know what I mean? Like I didn't, it didn't seem like that big of an exaggeration. And then she got to an age where she was like, you know what? It doesn't even fit me anymore. I want to be, I want to look the age I am and not fight.
Have we had this conversation before? I'm having like deja vu on
maybe.
I don't know on the podcast.
If somebody,
I'm sure you've talked about it at
maybe
some point,
that's it.
Yeah.
Well,
some of our listeners are like, yes.
Yeah, well,
you guys are the only ones that don't remember what you said.
Yeah. Here's another conversation that came up this week from a friend. He's talking about leadership. He's a pastor, and just like asking, how do you handle certain narratives about you and your leadership? Like what you think is maybe a false narrative, like as people in the congregation talk, or, or it might be like network, like, oh, people in network talk about you or your church, and they have it's like, oh, people are saying this about this thing. And, maybe like, how do you as a leader handle, maybe it's like, could be just negative criticism, or, oh, this, wasn't handled well, or, oh, they always do this, or they, you know what I mean? Like just criticism, narratives about you. And just that question that he was asking me, like, how would you answer that question? How do you guys handle just when there are narratives about, like, maybe there's a staff thing that happens, or, elder thing, and somebody's not on, and it's like people are talking, and how
it would depend where it's coming from. I feel like if my focus turns to trying to fix a false narrative, then my focus is off. Now, if it's like, oh, these people that are outside of our context, they have this opinion on us, I'm like, oh, whatever. But if it's like, these people are a part of our church and this is their viewpoint of our leadership, I think I feel a responsibility, like, oh, let's help clarify that. Either learn and make corrections or help them better understand. So I would say it depends where the narrative's coming from.
I feel like probably of the three of us, I'm the one that's the most vulnerable to this. Like I'm the one that is probably my nature, like even pre-Christ, would be to be a man pleaser, to want everybody to speak well of me, and I feel like that's one of those things that God has, over the long haul, just continued to chip away at. And I look back and I regret how much time I spent trying to correct every false narrative that was ever thought of or spoken about me, because at the end of the day, this sounds so simplistic, but this had to be driven deep in my soul. I'm a child of God. You know, the last episode we had where you were talking about even while we were still sinners, Christ died for us. Like, I can't control what people say or think about me. If it's true, then I have an obligation to change. You know, if there's an accusation that sticks, that is a measurable thing that I can change, well, then God help me to change. If it's just a false narrative, a false bio of me, a profile, you guys, I spent way too many years trying to please people, correct those narratives, and it's a slippery slope and causes way too much inward thinking. And I think by God's grace done. I don't know. I'm not that I don't care. I still care about what people think, but especially those just false narratives out there. I'm like, then you'll just have to get closer to me and see if it's actually true or not. I'm not going to chase this down and try to correct the profile.
How did you answer the question?
Yeah.
I think it was probably similar to a question that we answered. We talked about in the last one on questions where, like, chasing down someone that goes to another church and how much do you, and just the idea of be willing to let people down or to
be misunderstood.
To be misunderstood. That's like just it's okay as a leader. Don't try to get the harder you work. So there was a situation where it was like, pastor comes to me, is like, hey, Mark, you don't understand all the things that are going on. Your opinion is wrong because you don't know. And, you need to read this whole summary that I wrote of all the things. And it's like, it felt like, Mark, I have the right narrative and you have the wrong narrative. So you need to get on board with what I think. You know how that came off to me? It was like, well, you think that you're the only one with all the puzzle pieces to this complex situation, and I can't, my perspective doesn't matter. I just feel like that communicates just control. The more as a leader you try to control the narrative and everyone needs to think what I think, that's so controlling. It's called hubris. Like one mind, one person, we're not omniscient. We don't so as leaders, I think to entrust the gap of like letting people have their opinion on something.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Like
100%.
Even if somebody, a situation happens and I can justify myself, it's okay if they see it differently.
Yes.
And I think letting people be angry with you and not like if they're not, and I think it's okay to, because a lot of times I think if I were in their position, I would probably think the same thing. They're like, what was he thinking? So it's like someone recently told me, I guess one thing Mark Dever said was, I think it was Drew, that in a conversation with Drew, he's like, Mark Dever said, what I realized, one thing that was really helpful to me as a pastor is to realize people aren't mad at Mark Dever. They're mad at the pastor of Capitol Hill Baptist Church. Do you know what I mean? Like,
totally different guy.
Do you know what I mean? Like they're
he frustrates me too.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because I'm like, I feel that way. I'm like, yeah, Mark's kind of an idiot. Like the pastor, who is the pastor of this church that allows this? Like, wait, at Veritas, you guys let this happen? I'm like, I know. Like, who's in charge around here? Do you ever feel that?
I feel like the bigger the church gets, it's kind of like, how did that happen? And why are we doing that? And totally. Yeah.
You can't. But there's a part of it where it's like the stuff that happens in your family, and you have teenage kids or adult kids or whatever, and you're like, well, you're the patriarch of this whole thing, and you're like, well, yeah, it would be nice if I could control every human being.
Totally.
And, but that's not, I think, pastoring people and pastoring that way. There's a part of my answer to this person was just like, there's part of it where it's like, yeah, kind of fumbled that one a little bit. Like leadership's hard, and
this will come out after the fact. But we were talking about your upcoming sermon on communion and the humility that you want to appropriately bring to that sermon on. You know what? I feel like this is one that we need to work on as a church. You know what I mean? That ability to be able to say, "Oh, you want to accuse us of something? Oh, jump at the table because we're actually mad at each other for this one."
Do you think, like, as elders of a church, there can be this perspective that the elders are the ones that are going to defend everything we do as a church, when actually it might be like that's the group that may have the most concerns and problems,
dude,
because they are shepherding it and saying, "Hey, we need to address this, and we need to address this, and we need to address that." But maybe that's not the perspective people have.
That very thing is what happened with this communion thing. Like, found out that there was a family that left Veritas, and their singular reason, or at least the voiced singular reason, is that we don't do a good enough job of like screening or fencing or the table of communion. And I wish in many ways that they had stopped and asked me about it, because I do think that would be one of those moments where I'd be like, man, we're working through that.
Yeah,
and
there's
there's
the complex of logistics of doing that, right?
And then hear me out of why we do what we do.
Yeah.
And I think that'd be more rational for you and more biblical than you think. And then let me tell you why I join you in wondering if we're doing it well or what. But that kind of thing where, because I do think maybe some of the things, the narratives or the profiles that people have of us, there's maybe some aspect of it that's true, but it's just exaggerated and it's exclusive to the other things. So that's where I'm like, again, I don't want to chase it down because there's probably an element of truth that.
And there's leadership humility. I think when the attacks or the narrative is organizational, like, why are you
right?
When they're more personal, I feel I think it was Charles Spurgeon's response of like, "Oh, if they only knew me, I'm far worse than what they think." Just kind of.
I was talking to Drew the other day, and he was sharing a verse, and it was Ecclesiastes 7:21. It says, "Don't pay attention to everything people say, or you may hear your servant cursing you. For in your heart, you know that many times you yourself have cursed others."
So if that servant only knew what I'd said about him.
You do the same thing.
Right.
You
be careful. Yeah. Totally.
You as a leader, like, don't get mad when people curse you because you'd probably be doing the same thing.
You've done it.
You've done it. You get it. You get it. And I think that that's something about leadership that is important to remember is you cannot take things too personally. That's the like Dever's wisdom of like, they're not mad. They're not mad at me. They're just mad at the pastor of this church. There is a position, and that's what we love to talk about politics. Like, we love to be mad at the leaders. It's easy. This is the thing. It's always easiest to lead whatever you're not leading.
Yeah.
And so we all do this. The thing we're not leading, we're critical of the leaders, and then we get in that position. We're like, "Oh, this is really hard."
Or to hate what you're not struggling with.
Yeah.
Because I think there's
what do you mean?
There's this tension in the Christian life of take holiness seriously, hate sin, put it to death, and also chill out. Like, you do, like, you struggle, or give grace, overlook an offense, love covers a multitude of sins, and kind of having the balance of those. And like, I need to put my sin to death and hate it, and I need to show you love and be, call you to holiness too. I'm not saying that, but there's just that weird tension and mixture in the Christian life.
We give ourselves a lot of grace on things. What was the thing where C.S. Lewis talks about the thing that you get most angry at is probably the thing you struggle with the most? Like it's pride, or it's you're just able to call out other people for things, and you think you're getting all right, but really it reveals something that you yourself. I don't remember
Yeah.
what that was. If that's
Yeah, I don't
chapter on
either,
pride and mere Christianity,
Yeah.
But
or
it's
something,
good.
but-
Whether he said it or
Yeah,
not, Mark,
I don't
that's
know.
good.
What's that?
So, yeah.
In hide and seek, people that look behind the door because they've hid there themselves.
Right.
And there's a sense of like, boy, that how did you like speaking right to me? How did, like, my struggle. And you're like, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I've hit there
Yep.
before.
Yep.
I found that's a good hiding
Yeah.
spot. It's good. Another thing that came up is how to disciple fringe people in your church. So we have churches where there's a lot of people, a lot of attenders. And
Did I tell you last Easter, 2 Easter? I was addressing, because we have, as churches do, we have a lot of fringe people.
Mm-hmm.
And I said the word fringe multiple times. And one kid in our congregation on his way home from the service in the car, he's like, what did you think of the message? He's like, oh, it's really good. And he goes, why does Pastor Jake not like French people? Like fringe. I don't always enunciate the best, but it's not French.
So many French people in our service.
Yeah.
What do we do about all these
French people just on the edges?
I think
Get the French more engaged.
the French do need Jesus.
Yes.
Oh man. So we spend a lot of time thinking about how do we disciple those people? How do we get people from just a tender into disciple, learning follower of Jesus? And I think that in this conversation, I think that one of my biggest mistakes as a young pastor, something that I think I've maybe grown out of, but I'm still, I don't know, there's this tension here, is the thought that I can disciple anyone. Like, people's problem is they just haven't been pulled in yet. People's problem is they just need someone to reach out to them. And you know what? If I just went around and I met that fringe person and I pulled them into my group and I met with them, I could disciple them.
Mm-hmm.
That has proven time and time again to be so false.
Yeah.
You can only disciple a hungry, teachable, faithful person.
So here's the self-critique on this. When as church leaders who are frustrated with the fringe, maybe the issue is stop trying to disciple the fringe.
Yeah.
And focus on the hungry.
Yeah.
And
Yes. That's what I think I said. What do you think about that, Jeff?
No, 100%. And here's sometimes we can stigmatize the fringe and the French, but this time the fringe. In other words,
hear it now.
what about the people who are, like in the days of Jesus, curious, coming in, but not quite ready to commit? They're listening. Look, they got out of bed. They went through the kind of craze to get to our parking lot and get in there. Just respect them and thank them. Now, if you discover that there's somebody that just stays stalled out there and it's just checking the box that, sure, I went to church. If everybody says, yeah, I go to Veritas, but you actually don't have any commitment to Christ or to God's church, well, of course, that's a different issue. But I wonder how many of the people in the fringe are like that versus the ones who are actually somewhat curious at some level, and we let them be. And again, focus on those who are stepping in then and saying, please, I've got ears to hear. Help me.
And I don't think it's forget about the fringe, focus on the core. I think it's the way to reach the fringe is through the core.
Yes.
And what I mean by
Good
that
call.
is the fringe are by definition on the outskirts.
Right.
So if the core raises and you're going to be on the outskirts of the core, you have to kind of raise yourself. So if it's a fringe might shed light on, well, your core's not that committed. so the fringe don't seem,
Yes.
but if the core gets more devoted, the fringe are either going to feel more out of place or they're going to
kind of rise
with the tide there.
That's good.
So I think deepening the core is a way to reach the fringe.
Well, I think one thing,
it's almost like that's what Jesus did.
I think a very average pastor thing to do is to respond to a fringe crisis. I'm not mad at fringe people. Like, I think it's cool. Anyone that shows up on Sunday.
Oh yeah.
Like, I'm like, that's awesome.
Well, obviously, we're building a bigger building to house them.
I love
it. Don't as a pastor, you should want fringe people in your church.
Right.
Yes. Because, like Jesus preached to the crowds and fed them. And hey, like, we got to feed the, let's host these people. Let's,
they're
feed
often
them.
curious before they're cool.
Yeah. I'm not like, I love that anyone that shows up at Veritas, I don't know what brought you here. It's a miracle you're here.
Yeah.
I want to just tell you about Jesus. I'm going to sow that I'm not only going to sow seed on good soil because I don't know.
Right.
We're going to cast it out and God will work that out. And so even Jesus had that same thing. But I think that it's true that like people do what they want. Like, I can't want Jesus I can't be faithful for somebody. So I'm looking for faithful, available, teachable people. But I think another, like, let me just contrast here. Amazing pastor versus average pastor. Amazing pastor response is, dude, we are going to do a better job with our programs, our preaching, our like social media, are like, you tend to solve big problems with these, like, we're going to make it more amazing and we're going to make this like,
because you're looking at the fringe.
You're looking at this as a huge, I feel like average pastor solution is to find somebody and be like, hey, you want to like meet with me and we'll just teach you the Bible, and you're hungry. You seem hungry, and I want to, like, there is a personal, like, it's always going to be a relational solution. Even I'm not opposed to air war, like,
but there is a sense
classes.
Of stop operating like a cable company. What I mean by that is we're always giving new deals to get new customers.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, I've been a faithful customer for 10 years. Why not give me a deal? And it's like, we already got you. And I think but I think churches act that way. It's like, oh, I know you're going to be here. I know you're a faithful giver. Like, almost like, yeah, who cares? I need to get you. You're new people.
Wow. But then you get them in and then you raise the price.
But there's even like, you mentioned at the last podcast, just kind of the message on prayer. We had a members prayer service. Like, okay, we had 800 some members. And there's 400 people here. It's like, there's 400 people here,
right,
to pray, and let's pray rather than just like focus on the people that aren't here. Gather with the people that are and lean into God, and 100%. Others will come along. No.
I'm writing this down in this is book 3, The Average Church, and I'm just writing down your Jake. Don't treat people like a cable company.
It's so true.
Is that going to be in one of your books?
You can have it. Is that what you're asking? Hey, can I take this?
Jake.
I mean, Jeff gets plagiarized by celebrity pastors. I just get plagiarized by average pastors.
All in broad daylight, too. Hey, can I steal that right now? All right, done.
Yeah. You're on candid camera.
Yeah. If any of your kids was ashamed of you, which kid would it be for that? You got to make some money off this.
Right. You haven't made enough money. Oh man. Well, yeah, those are some things that came up. So I want to end this by letting you guys were there any things that maybe were on your mind, or things you'd hope we'd get to, or just random stuff you're enjoying, anything as, as we wind down this episode, just things you were hoping to hit on today that we didn't get to.
Well, I mean, one thought I had over the conversation we were just having is also as leaders, as far as, reaching these different layers of committed people, I guess, is, we never want to be compelling people to do stuff we're not willing to do. So I do hope all of us have in our lives total unbelievers, fringe kind of people, committed core kind of people, because all of them are image bearers that have come into our path. And if we're saying to our people, hey, reach out to some of those new people, or share the gospel with your unbelievers, well, I hope we are exhibiting that. I hope we're modeling that and not just putting heavy yokes on other people and not.
I think that's your example of that to me has been so good over the years of, you're talking about, hey, hey, I'm reading the Bible with this, with my trainer, with this plumber, with, this other guy in the church that's, and I think that what your heart, you're like I think it helps with pastoral integrity, because our tendency, like when I was talking about amazing pastor, average pastor, I think amazing pastor we always drift toward disconnect. Like, hey, I'm preparing my sermon and I'm preaching to, thousands of people. I have my, I go in, I have my private parking spot. I walk in, I get up on stage, I preach a great sermon, I leave.
That's my job. Yep.
It's my job. No one else can do this. You get disconnected from the flock so easily. This happens. It's like so predictable. And I think you're just always bringing it back to, hey, this is shepherd the flock, and just making it, it's not, it's people and love these people.
Yeah. I didn't expect to get on the topic, but when you asked the question, I think a good conversation to have another time would be, often people would say like, oh, I enjoy the podcast. It's just three friends talking. You introduce the podcast. I'm here with some of my pastor friends, and friendship has been a big theme. I'm surprised by talking with people, the number of people that would say that they're very lonely and feel like they don't have many friends. How do you be a good friend? How do you keep good friends? How do you build friendship? I do think some basics, going back to like, we're so disconnected as a society today. We feel connected through social media, but people are lonely, even people in the church. So I think helping, like, how do you foster friendships would be a great conversation to have.
Do you have a quick, that'd be that's a great, it would be a great topic. While we're out, just strike while iron's hot. Do you have any quick, just like quick hitting, like here's a quick thought on that?
Nothing quick. I just think I've just noticed the number of people that feel lonely. And why is that? And how even in a church do you, and as a Christian, take responsibility for having good community, rather than like the church isn't done this, or you don't program relationships, but you do need to, I think, coach people to foster good relationships. I just thought that's a topic that would be good.
That's a great question, and we should spend more time talking about that, because I think that is a big point of this podcast. Is just that's what life. This is one of my greatest ambitions in life.
Yeah, and it is. Some of it is perspective. I remember where we were driving back from. It's just two of us in the car, and I was telling you, it's like I feel lonely. Like I don't have a lot of friends, and you said like, I feel like I got a ton of friends, and it's just like how you process. As we talked about, it's like I do have a lot of friends. But you get into this like thinking.
But you might part of it.
What do you mean by friends, and what are you looking for?
Right. But that's, I think part of it was like, I think what I was saying is like, Jake, you're my friend. Do you know? Like you can think like I don't have any. I mean,
what's the feeling behind that? Though?
Yeah.
Why do people feel that way? And what are we missing that's right in front of us? And how do we deepen it?
And also, I think, just to encourage people, then go get it. Don't wait. Like if you're the one that church seemed so unfriendly or whatever, I could never get, because you come in and you stand with your arms folded and refused it. Like I went to another church, and during this like greeting time, I think I might have even mentioned this already, but the couple in front of us, as soon as they were getting ready to warm up to, hey, why don't you say hi to people around here? The woman visibly like rolled her eyes and shook her head, never turned around to us. We were the new ones. Yeah. What I'm saying is, if I'm one that wants friends, or I want to step into the church and find friends there, I have to go out of my way to, like when we've had our picnics and I find out that people came for the first time that day and then showed up at our picnic, I'm like, good on you.
Yeah.
Like that initiative to say, hey, I'm new. I would like to be known. Like putting yourself instead of just waiting for somebody else to come and find you or whatever. Anyway,
keep showing up and in time. Like friendships, like the best friendships take time, and totally. you can't. If you throw expectations on people, it will crush the friendship before it begins. If you just are open to the unexpected, I would say if someone's listening and that they're feeling lonely. I was lonely, and my best friend moved away my freshman year of high school, Joe Kufal, and I was devastated. He was my lifeline to Christ. We were like just best friends. And when I found out he was moving, my friend Ed Noble was the youth pastor, and he spoke, and I will never forget this. I remember where we were. And he's speaking to the youth group, and he just said, I was lonely in high school, and I prayed for friends, and God just brought bucket loads of friends. And so right there, my freshman year, I was just like, Jesus, I need friends. And God brought, just some sweet,
that's cool,
life friends after that. So I just think
that seems like the kind of prayer the Father would love to answer. You know what I mean? Like, I'm saying, what a beautiful thing to make that a point of prayer for people. Like seriously.
And then when you have it all around you, but you don't feel it, I think the time, consistency, and vulnerability, like, okay, just give it time. Like you've walked with these people for years. It's going to deep. Or consistency. Like, okay, you could say like, we've been friends for 3 years. It's like, but we don't really talk that often. There's no consistency in our interaction. And then vulnerability. You could be like, we've known each other for 3 years. We meet every week. It's like, but you've never opened up. So I think you look at yourself and like, have you given it time? Has there been consistency in that time? Has there been vulnerability in that time? And if you can say like no to some of those, then you got something to work on in that friendship.
Well, like even our friendship, we've had to like over the last, just be like, hey, let's not make the podcast like
the only time
we connect. This is not, we need to, meet and just.
Though it is remarkably like when the microphones aren't on.
All right.
It's not actually that much different.
No, it's not that much different, but I'm glad for that.
Yeah, it's a special thing. So that's the thing we want to share is and Jesus, we have this, like what we are experiencing is Jesus. It's his, like friendship flows from him. It's an overflow of, and if he were here among us, the conversation would be like, he is among us.
The conversation would be much better.
Did you need to fill that in? He is Jesus. He's among us. Man, I will not leave you as orphans. I will come to you. So we need to wind this down. We're
how long have we been, James?
We're like 1:14-ish.
Oh, okay. That's not bad. So,
we haven't broken a record yet.
Okay.
Nor do we need to. We're not
do you have any postscripts, James, from this conversation? Anything you want to add?
No, I'm excited to see what you guys dress up as for next episode.
For the Halloween.
We're going to lose more sponsors.
Yeah.
We definitely lost our Mennonite brothers
bakery.
and sisters in Kelowna. But all right. Wait, hey, one of these, I have
All of Letha's friends have now unfriended us.
So yeah, well, we'll I look forward to catching up next time. It's going to be, the leaves are changing. It's fall. It's going to be October. So I hope you guys have a great September and just, So benediction as we close. Either of you guys, a good word to speak over us as we close.
I was actually just thinking about one of the Psalms what was the Psalm we read this morning?
104.
104, yeah.
I think.
Okay, let me just hit it up. Thanks for giving me that number. Numbers don't stick with me. But there was
I got to remember to bring my Bible.
Yeah, you do. He says in Psalm 104:24, how countless are your works, Lord. In wisdom you have made them all. The earth is full of your creatures. Well, when I thought about that, James will appreciate this. Our granddaughter, Palmer, is fascinated with creatures. And she's this girly girl. She's this little, is she 4 years old? The latest one is she found a millipede. It was like a 6-inch long millipede. I'm not exaggerating. I didn't even know they existed in Iowa like that. And she's letting it crawl all over her hand. And her dad on the video, he's going, hey, Palmer, what is that? I don't know. But she's just letting this. I mean, most people would be terrified of this thing. Here's what I'm saying. I think there's something really beautiful with people that get fascinated with God's creation. And now, like you talked about, leaves are changing and things are going dormant and animals are changing, and there's migration patterns. And just let's take some moments to walk out into creation, especially in these transition times. And how countless are your works, Lord, in wisdom. You've made them all. Like you made these trees to go to sleep all winter and then to burst with life in the spring. And the earth is full of your creatures, my grandchildren also, by the way, just found one of the cicadas, but they realized it wasn't a shell. It was still coming out. Oh, yeah. So they put it back on our little magnolia out here, and we got to all crowd out and watch it emerge out of its shell and spread its wings and dry. Anyway, I'm just saying, earth is full of that, and let's give
and
glory
it's saying
to God.
Something. Rudy came back. Oh, we're signing off.
No, keep going. Keep going.
Yesterday, Rudy came home in her science classes. They were talking about how big the galaxy is and how, or beyond outer space and the number of planets. And I was like, and you know what they're saying. In Psalm 19, like the heavens declare the glory of God. Like, there's purpose to that. Like you don't just study secular people can study that it's there. They don't know what it's saying.
Right.
And it's saying
Listen
something
to its
about
voice.
The glory. Yeah.
This is just to be aware of, just to have a God awareness as we see the beauty, but the famous poem, the earth's crammed with heaven and every common bush afire with God, but only he who sees takes off his shoes. The rest sit around and pluck blackberries. Just God's presence, and as we see the trees leaves changing. What a good word to end our time to just grow in our awe of God and His creation. So it's been a great conversation today. Just loved being with you guys, and hope you've enjoyed this conversation. Maybe got something encouraging out of it. So we'll see you guys back here next time. Thanks for joining us.